I was thinking about doing some kind of challenge with my acryla gouache paints for quite a while, and the time has finally come. I am doing 3-color challenge today because I just felt like it. You never know what you get and what you end up creating. And maybe you even get inspired to make something you never thought of before. And let me tell you guys, it is exactly the case of today's painting. Let's just pick some colors already, right? I am using this heavy canvas bag. It is absolutely opaque, so I can't see inside. I will allow myself to use black and white if needed, so they go on the side. And the colors are Viridian, Scarlet, and Shell Pink, which is like lighter version of Scarlet. I will be honest with you, I was quite unhappy with this color choice, so I tried again and it was even worse. But maybe I'll make myself do something with that color palette later. I rarely use greens and reds in my paintings, and I don't know about you guys, but these colors are screaming Christmas, and I don't want to paint Christmassy things already. After checking out my color chart, I was surprised how dark the Viridian can get, and it made me think about this palette in different way. Viridian has subtone of something dark and villainous, and Scarlet is contrasting with it so nicely, so I went, of course, the dark way. My first thought while planning the piece was to use lots of angles and straight lines to support the ominous tone, what then led me to drawing a male character, since they have sharper angles and straighter lines. Female characters tend to be more rounded in shape, and I struggle a lot when trying to draw them. And I don't draw men often enough. All of that and some brooding over chosen colors again led me to this drawing. And I was very happy with it. So happy I was even scared to start painting. But it's just a painting, you can always start again, right? I made lots of swatches to see what colors I could get. There is not a big range of colors, but I was quite pleased with the grey mixes. I outlined everything with diluted black at first. It makes it easier in the later stages to see the sketch. Then I like doing the first pass with all the colors in a thin layer over the whole piece. You get the feel of how the final piece will look like. I did few thumbnails beforehand, but I was still not too sure about the color tones. And while you are watching me do that, I want to say this challenge brought me so much more than just a video to post or a nice painting finished. Working on this was such a joyful experience, and it felt like I finally found my style. Well, my style using this medium, for now. I don't believe artists are allowed only one art style, because for one, our art and of course our art style evolves and changes with us, with new knowledge, skills, experience, perception, even with different quality of art supplies. And secondly, it is okay to have different style, for example with different mediums. I approach art differently with every medium, not only in the process of creating, but also subject matter, color choice, planning, and my style slightly changes with each one. The art still can get recognized as created by that person because of the person's approach or subject matter, color palette, composition, lighting, details, or the lack of them, but it might not. I hope you know what I mean. It's so difficult to put into words, even more so when English is not my first language. I mean, there are artists with one and only style you always recognize, but there are also artists doing lots of stuff with different mediums, and their art might look very similar across all mediums, but it also might not, and it is still okay. And especially for us, beginners, it can be quite confusing. And it's taking me a long time to figure out what I'd like to create in the future. For now I am experimenting and trying out different styles and mediums to see what speaks to me the most, and I do enjoy this phase of my art journey. I love alternating between mediums and trying out different things, but I'd also sometimes like to just know what I will be creating next, or have an objective vision. maybe starting with small series of one topic might be a nice idea. And this is why this piece is so important to me. I realized I love painting, with acryla gouache specifically, in more sharp and defined style, and also use flat colors. And I am slowly turning away from realism. I love realistic art and I admire artists who are good at it. But I do not enjoy creating realistic art as much, despite my endless attempts. And I should definitely draw more masculine characters. I was always trying to draw girls and had so much trouble to make them look feminine. I think shifting just this aspect of my art could be rewarding, and I might feel more happy with my art overall. So expect more male character art in the future. Back to the painting. After the first layer was done, it was obvious what needed to be changed. The green in the background was too light and clashed with the red and pink too much, so I changed it to just pure viridian. And the contrast it created made it so much better. The same color goes in the hair and tie, and I will add some black color to those later. Skin is just pure shell pink, it was just perfect. The halo part, which was supposed to be circle of daggers, but I changed it later. I mean, it still can be representation of that. Anyway, the halo was not working in pink. I wanted it more separate from red, so I mixed shell pink with white. I was finally able to use some of those grey mixes on the clothing. And at first I did paint the whole shirt in diluted shell pink. I don't know why. Maybe I thought he would look good in transparent shirt. I don't know. But I will cover it all in white again later. Finally, time for the last touches. Green highlights in the hair, and I also outline all the facial features with it and added some shading. And then the never-ending story of coloring in the halo part began. I went over the whole ring with white to define shapes, then dark green on the outer edge and pink inside. The whole halo thing was such a tedious part, it took me around 20 minutes for each color, but I think it created a nice effect. I really enjoyed adding those red outlines all over the piece. The rest of them is done in black and it looks so much better after. So this is the final piece and I like it a lot, and hopefully I will get better at translating my visions onto paper and in my own unique style. Thank you so much for being here. Have an awesome day. See you next time. Bye.